Yeah, hey Bruce, Chris Chapman, Fox Sports Las Vegas postgame show. First off, congratulations on the victory the other night. But was this game about what you expected after this long pause?
I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, and thanks for the shout out there. Looking around the league tonight, we played one of the last games, so you're looking at some bigger scores in certain places. Other ones were a little lower. So you don't know how the players are going to react, especially if, I wasn't here for the practices for the most part. I liked our morning skate a lot. I thought guys had good zip. And it showed in our start. In the second period, I thought Lankinen held them in, to be honest with you, early on. I thought we had some really good looks. Then Hilly had to do the same in the third. We kind of bent, didn't break, but, had to start killing some penalties too that they did in the first period. So at the end of the day, a little fatigue sets in on the end of your shifts if you get stuck, and that's what I saw with both teams. They got stuck a few times. Second period, didn't they ice it like 3-4 times in a row? And that's what happened with us in the third. We got stuck out there a little bit, lose a couple D in the box for coincidental minors. So now there's guys get taxed. So that's what I saw on both sides. Listen, if you manage the puck, manage your shift length, usually you can get through these types of games. So you start getting back to your game mode and both teams that time kind of lost that, and that showed that, you just couldn't quite get it back as quick as you maybe normally would.
Brandon Saad comes in, new team, has a few games, then there's this break. He gets the game winner tonight, but what has he done to kind of just mesh with this team so quickly and become now looks like a big part of what you guys are looking to do?
I'd say he's just been himself. He's been in the league a long time. He knows what he needs to do to be successful. He uses pace, forecheck well, have a good stick. He tends to play a pretty direct game up and down the wing. He's not all over the ice, not one of those guys and he'll contribute on special teams. We've talked about that. Our first unit takes up a big chunk of the power play. Could be on the second. He fell into that in Boston. We're trying to use him on the kill. Looking at Lavoie on the power play a little bit. That's something he brought on his resume from the American League. We want to see if that translates here. So there's a bit of that. And he's been great, a good pro, practices well. I think he fits in well the line he's in right now. He knows that it may change, depending on health and what happens down the road. But been just a consistent, he's that 14, 15-minute guy, and that's what we're honest about. And that's probably what similar role here. But you'll get opportunities to play with good players. Moving Stone away from Jack allows us to balance the lines, and having him with Howie and Saad or Carly and Saad when he's healthy, that so he had good opportunity. I think that was important to him to have a team to come to that has a chance, and he believes that. We all believe that. So you throw all those things together, and that's what allowed us to bring him into Vegas in the first place, and now he's seen it firsthand. That's what we're doing. We're following up on that, and I think he sees a good hockey team that has a chance to win every night and has a chance to win it all. I think he wouldn't know that immediately, but I think he's seeing part of that. The team plays a certain way. 2 years ago, we finished the last team standing, so he understands that, and that's what he wants. And so it's a good marriage for us because we were looking for a little veteran type of guy to help us out. We found him.
Danny.
Hey Bruce, Danny Webster, Las Vegas Review-Journal. You talked this morning about how Adin might be a wild card just because he hasn't played in a long time, but seeing him throughout the tournament, how much did you talk to him about kind of making sure that he stayed engaged throughout? Because obviously he probably wants to go and he wants to play, but not getting the chance to. Did you have conversations with him during that time and just the way that he was able to keep himself upbeat and motivated?
No, I think once you're there, the only conversation was, be ready. You might find yourself in the net quickly, playing for your country in in a really important game, and so that was more his focus, was to be ready for if his number was called. I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. Those players earn the right to be there, so you had to separate a bit from your own team and get ready. He got his work in practice. I kept an eye on that. But he needed to be fresh enough and worked enough to be ready to go in the net for Team Canada if his name was called. So that was first and foremost. we will catch him up here. He hadn't played in a while, so I knew that part would be exciting to him. He wanted to get back in the net. He's a competitive guy. And we'll see where it leads with his workload here going forward. But that was the only conversation. The biggest one we had about Vegas was Friday on the plane home is like, do you feel like you'd be ready to play or do you need some time? Because the emotional, and he wanted to get right back in the net. So that's how we made our decision.
Ken and Jesse.
Ken Bolke's in Midnight Vegas. Last couple of games before the break and then in this one, seems like teams are starting to kind of back off Stone when he's got the puck on the power play. First, am I seeing that correctly? Are you seeing that? And then secondly, what's the adjustment to kind of fix that?
So tonight, they covered his outlets is what their forward ran backdoor with Pav, right? So the low play through the crease wasn't going to be there if they read it quick. Which we've seen against a number of teams where Pav gets that shot from the weak side low. They kind of shrunk into the middle on Hurdle. I think there was an opportunity to hit it quick, but they had good sticks too. The play eventually was through the seam to Hanifin. He kind of slides in the back or move Hurdle like we did in Boston, into Pav's spot as there was a switch. So we didn't make that quick enough, to be honest. Yet we did hit Hanifin, I think, on the second power play. So there was some, and I think then it has to go back to Jack, and he walks up higher and looks for a play to Hanifin or a shot to the net, and just put Stoney net front for a screen. So those are the adjustments you can make. I think Jack did try to shoot it through the screen once. It got blocked and went into the netting. Hanny had a chance. We never really got it into. I think one went into Hurdle. So it's a tough part. You still want to be true to what made you successful without over forcing it, but you may have to take a shot in there, and we did, and one got through to him. We didn't get the goal from it. The other ones didn't. And then you come out of the period, and you can talk to them a little more at length. Okay, next one. No, there never was a next one. So unfortunately, we made adjustments on the bench that we saw, but a lot's happening. It's always easier between periods to sort of walk through with everybody. But that's what happened. I thought we still had some decent looks, but we need to do a better job when you get 3 in a row. And I also give their goalie credit. I mean, he played pretty well, and it wasn't like we had nothing and we were not executing well. We just didn't make the last play.
Last one, Jesse.
Jesse Granger with The Athletic. On Sod with Stone, we saw Stone, how much success he had with Chandler Stevenson's speed through the ice. And obviously Sod's on the wing, but is that speed part of why you like that combo? And do you think that could be a long-term thing? Yeah,
Stoney's always good with speed. Howie brings it in the middle. Sad will have it on the left. I've said this from day one. Our intention going into September was to see how it looked with William Karlsson. And we're almost in March. We still haven't seen much of it. So hopefully they're healthy at the same time and we can get a look at it. That allows us to balance it better. We know what he can do with Jack. We saw them at the start. Hurdle's line's fine, I think, the way it is, so that's kind of what we're looking for. But yes, we want speed with Stoney, and we're just not sure how it's going to land right now. But Sad certainly brings that, so I think it could be a good fit. Who's going to go in the middle? Time will tell.